This week on the StressLess Camping RV Podcast, we take a look at the RV industry and how it's portrayed in an article in the Wall Street Journal.
Are things that bad, and what can you do if you're RV shopping?
We have some RV shopping tips, and today might be one of the best times in years for RV shoppers.
Oh boy, is it ever. We also share a goofy USA destination where we enjoyed boondocking, exploring,
and learning a little bit of geology.
Yeah. And we have a gadget that'll keep your RV experience on the level.
Hey, did we mention this is year 7 of the StressLess Camping Podcast? Happy birthday to us!
We have this week's podcast along with the notes and all the stories that go with this episode, along with discounts, deals, helpful tips, and more at our home on the web at StressLessCamping.com.
Don't forget to like and share, and thank you for joining us for episode 315. Welcome to season 7.
I'm Tony.
I'm Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time
in a Rockwood Mini Light,
looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips,
tricks,
and discounts.
We are just home yesterday from our most recent trip in our Rockwood Mini Light.
Yeah.
And we are enjoying our time at home, although we always enjoy our time on the road too. I can't say that one's better than the other.
No, but definitely very different.
For sure.
We, a few weeks ago, started sharing this history of camping.
Yeah.
And then we got all busy and we stopped sharing.
So we kind of stopped doing that, yeah. So we said that at that time, when we did remember to do it, that we would break it up into segments. And we did a kind of a brief camping history, a history of, people going camping. And so today I thought we'd do, how about history of the tent?
Ooh, that sounds intense.
So the original article we got from Reserve America. And then today, just for kicks, I looked up some more information and I found a website called allseasonco.com, like all season. And I got a little bit of extra stuff. So if you read the Reserve America article and you hear a couple things that are a little bit different, it's because I got them from that other website.
Ooh. Well, eons before becoming our favorite pastime, camping was literally a way of life. And perhaps the most important piece of iconic equipment is the tent.
According to the article, 1855 showed the real ancestor to today's familiar shelter. It was designed by a U.S. Army officer, and he modeled this bell tent after Native American teepees, but using canvas instead of buffalo hide.
Now, the first Boy Scout handbook was published in 1911, and that one showed 10 different types of tents.
10? That's intense.
That's...
All right. So between the 1920s and 1930s, recreational camping was really gaining popularity. And at that time, what was popular was heavy-duty canvas tents. They were durable, they were weather resistant, but they were bulky and kind of difficult to handle.
I wonder if you were allowed to touch the wall if it was raining.
Yeah, because if any of you ever used those old canvas tents, even not necessarily from the 20s and 30s, but from the 70s and 80s, that stuff got wet and you put it away and it always had that wet smell.
Things are better now.
Yeah.
Once World War II was over, there was a huge economic boom in the U.S. and it sent Americans to camping retailers and war surplus stores where they purchased thousands of tents of all types before heading off to the great outdoors.
This is also the time when synthetic fabrics like nylon and polyester were coming into their own, and those were lighter and more durable and more water resistant. So they were very popular materials for tents.
Brands like Eureka, Coleman, Bill Moss, and Kelty led the market.
In 1959, longtime tent maker Eureka introduced the first fast-to-set-up freestanding tent.
Oh, man.
Yeah, things are getting easy.
And in the 1960s, lightweight metal poles began to replace those wooden frames.
In 1970s, Eureka stole the show again with a backpack storable tent. It sold 1 million units in 10 years.
Wow. And in the 1980s, even though this was invented in the 1950s, inflatable tents finally caught on. They used air beams instead of poles for easy setup and improved stability.
In 1990, the first truck tent appeared, and it was designed to be pitched in the bed of a pickup truck.
As of 2011, despite technological innovations that offer more glamorous experiences, 3.2 million Americans still make tent camping trips.
Now, today I read that as of 2023, according to Google, that number is now nearly 27 million. So that's like 10 times as many people are going tent camping. And that represented, they said, about 34% of all Americans who go camping.
Wow. Can you imagine? I mean, we went to the Overland Expo and talk about tents. There are rooftop tents galore, camp tent. There's so many tents.
Right.
I mean, it's now like everything, it's not just, it's a tent. There's so many variations and it's pretty cool.
Right. So when you think of tent camping, it's not just that thing that's on the ground. It could also be in the truck bed or on a trailer or
on a roof.
On a roof. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty intense.
We are not going to make that joke anymore on this episode.
No, we're done.
Unless we do. Something that I've been seeing a lot on various social media forums is how long can I run my RV refrigerator on battery power?
Yes.
And
there's, of course, a lot of variables to that. It depends on your refrigerator. It depends on your battery. It depends on your battery charging capabilities.
So if you would like to go off-grid camping and you want your refrigerator to run, how do you know how much battery power to buy or how much battery power you need or what type of batteries or any of those things?
Well, you could, call Scott at ABC Upfitters.
That's a great idea.
He can help you figure that out.
That's one of the things we really like about ABC Upfitters is that there is not just one solution to all of the off-grid camping or even getting your rig set up in your driveway issues. I mean, there's a lot of RV dealers still installing flooded lead acid batteries, which fail after a short period of time, don't give you the performance. They're heavy, they need maintenance. And the folks at ABC Upfitters can help you with a reliable power system that meets your needs, whether that's just, hey, I want to be able to run my refrigerator 12
while I drive
hours,
to camp.
right?
Yeah.
Or I want to be nuts and go boondocking and not even think about my power
I want to
system.
spend a week in Quartzsite, maybe.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. Come join us. Anyway, if you would like a tailored system that fits the way you like to camp, you can call our friends at ABC Upfitters at 574-333-3225.
That's 574-333-3225. I don't know if we left enough room between us today for the QR code, but there it is. And that will take you to our website where we have more information about ABC Upfitters.
Yeah, there's a whole interview and videos, and you can learn more, or the easiest way to learn more is to give them a call.
I think we have kind of a little bit of a serious topic this week.
Well, the Wall Street Journal wrote this whole article, and it was called "Even Warren Buffett Hasn't Fixed the RV Industry's Serial Breakdowns." And it was shared that the RV industry continues to be plagued by recalls and issues. And it also talks about how RVs are built. So let's start there. But first of all, know that I did reach out to the authors of the article, and we had some back and forth about how, what they wrote and all of that. The article really made the rounds in Indiana, where most of the RVs are built. And some people were like, yeah, pretty accurate. And some people were like, oh, geez. So what we wanted to do is really kind of lay the groundwork for what was written in that article. And we'll put a link to the article. However, do know that it's behind a paywall. So if you're not a Wall Street Journal subscriber,
you'd have to pay to read the article. Yeah. Let's talk first about how RVs are built, because that seems to be, you don't have an RV problem unless you have an RV that's been built, right?
So what the article said was kind of pointed out how RVs are built. And essentially, many RVs are built by people who are often paid by the piece. So They say, like, here's an example. Today we're going to build 10 of such and such type of RV. And if you take, a long time to do that, you'll be here for more hours than if you just do it as quickly as possible. And then once you're done, you leave. So a lot of these RV factories start early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning. And these people work. And by what would be lunchtime for us, they're done with the day. With whatever they have to build, they're done. And the good side of that is that it encourages them to be proficient at their work and get it done early. The bad thing is it doesn't really encourage you to take your time and do a good job.
Sure.
So that's where mistakes can happen. There's also almost no automation in RV factories. It is hand built by people. And that's pretty much how these things are put together. Mm-hmm. If you ever have the chance to tour how cars, trucks, vehicles are built, it is a lot of automation. If you ever have a chance to see how RVs built, there's almost no automation.
Almost no automation.
It is very much
hand built.
Yeah. And we have some RV factory tours on we'll put links to those in the show notes or on YouTube. Then you have this encouragement to hurry up. Some of these companies have a culture where people stay for long periods of time. And that means they get proficient at their craft. They do a good job. There is a culture at those RV builders of wanting to do better and treat the team well.
Well, and those companies where there's not a lot of turnover, where people stay for a long time, like 50 years at Rockwood working in the cabinet shop, you can go rather quickly because you've done this so many millions of times that you don't have to stop and think about it, right? It's first nature, not even second nature. It's first nature. It's just part of what your brain and body knows how to do. And so some of the companies, as Tony kind of alluded to, some companies really value their people and they don't have a lot of turnover. And those people who have been there, the longer that they're there, the better that they can do a quick job without making mistakes. Companies that have to train people every week, and that slows them down, and they don't necessarily train them right because they figure they're going to leave soon or something. That's where a lot of trouble can come in.
People might say, oh yeah, that's typical of Thor or Forest River or Winnebago or whoever brand. And that's not true. Something I forgot to put in the show notes is each of these brands at Thor and Forest River are encouraged not only to compete with other brands within the umbrella company, but also with other brands outside the umbrella company.
So someone from Thor competes with someone from Forest River, but someone from Forest River also competes with someone from Forest River.
Right.
Different companies.
For example, they're all organized as like these groups. And some of the brands, look at who wins what awards, right? They do have awards for quality and customer service. And for example, know that, like, let's take Thor, for example. They make Airstream and they make KZRV or Zingers. Which would you rather have? There is absolutely a difference.
Sure.
Forest River makes things like the Rockwood and Flagstaff line, which, I mean, we make no secret of the fact that we are big fans of how they do things and what they do. And they also make like the Cherokees and the Salem Wildwoods, and those are built more to a price, and the Rockwoods are built more to component usage and higher quality. And there's all kinds of ways you can tell. Let's say you're going RV shopping. Well, first of all, know that we have a whole how to shop for an RV guide on our website at StressLessCamping.com. But you can look at the components and see, for example, start at the chassis. What type of tires are they using? What type of suspension? what type of chassis, what type of slide mechanism. Before you even go inside, there are so many details of how these RVs are built. And know that we are more a fan of travel trailers than motorized. Right. And that's where there's a bigger difference, right? You can get some travel trailers still for under 20 grand. Look at the component usage and just how things are put together. And it really tells a lot of the story. And some of these, one of the reasons that there's a lot of RVs built in Indiana is there are a lot of places, pockets of Amish workers, and they're not distracted by their phones and TV and all of that. Those people, they work. And, you know, it might be that there's stereotypes like, oh, the Amish workers are good. And then say, well, that's not really true. No, those people, they work.
They do work. And what Tony said, you know, they start really early in the morning. And when they finish their 10 units or whatever, they're done at that job for the day. But a lot, you know, not just the Amish, a lot of people who build RVs all morning have other jobs in the afternoon. Some of them are their own farms and some of them are just other jobs. So they work in the morning and they get off work and go to work.
Right. It's a long day.
Yeah.
Because RVs are built quickly, and this was pointed out in the article, there can be mistakes, right? Nothing's perfect.
They talked about recalls, right? And it talked about the number of recalls. And we wanted to kind of make sure that we're all on the same page about what a recall is, right? Because a recall can be huge and a recall can be really, really minor.
But I don't think a recall is necessarily indicative of something that's poorly made. What a recall is when an RV company or a vehicle manufacturer, whoever it is, discovers an issue that can affect the vehicle, either from safety standpoint or just material, you know, having usability issues or whatever it is. They go through the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration and they issue a recall. And the idea is that they send the registered owner a letter, but also have that information at the dealers. And when you, for example, when we would bring in an RV at the dealership I worked at, first we'd check the recalls and mitigate all of the issues that might have been tagged in the recall and then save it, and then sell it. You can look up your own recalls with the model and serial number of your RV, whatever, whether it's drivable, towable, whatever. And we'll put a link in the show notes, which are at StressLessCamping.com, of where you can find that information. But here's, like last month, there was a few recalls that kind of stood out to me. One of those, there was a recall on hundreds of fifth wheels because they just didn't provide a system that forced owners to disconnect the propane line before putting the griddle in. And again, that's, it's a safety item, but it's, you know, I mean, hopefully common sense is there.
Hopefully.
There was another recall because the information sticker didn't show the right tire size. And again, that's the safety information, but
how many times have people had RVs for years and they don't even know that sticker exists?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's always that the goal is to resolve these issues, but I don't think recalls are necessarily indicative of how well something is made.
Right.
So
things can happen.
Yeah, things can happen.
I think like that there's probably a recall on the and this is to say that it's not always just how the RV is built. Sometimes there's a recall on a refrigerator or on a stove. Well, Rockwood or Airstream didn't build that refrigerator. They buy those from another company. And so if you're counting numbers of recalls, there's a buku number of components that go into an RV, and that recall could be on any part of the RV. It's going to show up as an RV recall.
Yep. In other words, be aware, know what you're looking at, and don't let an article dissuade you from RVing. I mean, for example, the RV that we have now, we bought in November. Mm-hmm. We've put over 12,000 miles on it, and it's just been bulletproof. I mean, other than the stupid stuff that I've done, it's been great. So the fallacy of, don't buy anything built after COVID or blah, blah, blah. No, just shop carefully. Align yourself with a really great locally owned dealership. I think that makes a huge difference in your experience.
Yes.
And check out our reviews and our tips on how to shop. There are very good RVs out there, and there are some that are built to price. And so, and it's not just, don't buy Forest River, don't buy Thor, don't buy Winnebago. Know that those companies do encourage your brands to build according to what customer demand is. So
right. And so some of those, built to price, if someone is just going to go camping 7 weekends out of each summer,
or even
40 miles from home, 15 miles from home, whatever, it's a little less important.
Yeah.
Some of those things, right? Like, I don't know what, the sticker, the tire size or something. Think about the scale of some of these RVs some of the recalls and the scale of the use of some of the RVs. If you're planning to full time, now I'm not recommending this because a lot of RV companies, a lot of insurance companies are going to have very strict demands on you and full timing. But if you're going to spend a heck of a lot of time and make a lot of miles like we do, that's a whole different set of needs from someone who's just going to take the kids camping 3 or 4 times each summer.
Yeah, which is a lot of people. So do know that it's not all doom and gloom. I think the article from Wall Street Journal was fair, but of course some people didn't like it. The guys that wrote it seem to have done a lot of research and such. But yeah, you can still buy a very good RV, even one built after COVID. Believe it or not, it's true. We're here to tell you. So we, in the beginning, said this might be a great time to buy RVs. And it really is, because RV sales have dropped significantly. And that means that RV dealers are very motivated to sell the inventory that they have. And as we record this, the 2026s are being introduced.
Yeah, I thought that didn't happen until like September, but I've already started seeing floor plans and the new stickers on the outside and things like that for 2026. And I've seen those for several weeks already.
Yeah, so if you're thinking, maybe I should go RV shopping, do it. It's such a good time to buy. I mean, I know the dealership that I worked for, some of the RVs they had on the lot, they literally sold for cost. So what the cost the dealership to buy. And there are some smoking deals happening now. So yeah, go check them out. Find a great local dealer and see what you see.
Yeah. So John, at my dentist's office, if your parents are going to go shopping, this really is the time.
Yeah, and buying an RV is not like pulling teeth. Oh boy.
So we have just gone on about a 5-week trip, and Tony has wanted, and I have resisted, and I'll explain why I resisted it as we talk about it. But we got a Gadget right before we left, just in time to leave, and we finally have now a Levelmate Pro.
I flippin' love it. I love it. I love it. I love everything about it. I would marry it, but I'm already married. It's that good. Well, okay, maybe not. But so what it is, Levelmate Pro is a little box that you put in your RV, and then on your smartphone, you get a display. And what you do is you pick a level spot.
It did take us a few stops before we actually knew we were totally level. You know, we can sleep through a night where we're not exactly level. Right. We have a 12-volt refrigerator, so it doesn't have that super level requirement. So if we're just staying one night somewhere and we're a few degrees off, we don't worry too much about it, but we didn't want to set up a Levelmate Pro when we weren't level. So it took us a few days to get to a place where we were level enough that you were good installing it.
So you then tell this Gadget on your phone, on your smartphone, the length and width of your RV and you know, other details about it. And then when you are backing into a site, for example, you open up the app on your phone and you can see when your RV is level. And for a travel trailer or fifth wheel, what's really important is side to side, right? Because you can level front to back with the tongue jack or with the landing gear on the fifth wheel. But a number of times I would back into a site and it's like, and it'll tell you, you're an inch and a half low on this side or whatever it happens to be. You back into a site, but if you move over like 2 inches, it's level side to side. And just from inside the truck, you can see how level you are, and it's very quick, and it works so well. I cannot recommend this gadget more highly. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite new gadgets that we've gotten.
We really have been very impressed with it. Now, I will explain to you why I hesitated for as long as I did. I saw people, in the social media saying that you have to go inside and turn it on. Of course, there needs to be a transmission, right? So that makes sense. That little box inside the camper needs to be transmitting to your phone.
Correct.
And I did not want the hassle of getting to a campsite, getting out of the truck, opening the door, putting the steps down, turning on the level mate, putting the steps up, closing the door. It just seemed like not nearly worth the effort when I had a phone with a level in it right there in my pocket.
Yeah, by the way, did you know if you have an iPhone, it has a level built right into it?
Right. And so that's what we had been using, and that's fine. But Tony installed this LevelMate Pro in the cabinet where our battery and stuff is. So I do have to get out of the truck and I have to open a door, but it's a cabinet door, and flip the button on that transmitter. And that's all. I don't have to go in the camper. And really that was what caused my hesitation all that time, is thinking what a hassle it was to get in the camper to turn it on. Now, the other thing is it's battery operated. And I think that there's a way to plug it in 12 volt.
That I don't know.
But it is battery operated. And so I guess in theory, we could have just turned it on when we were packing and leaving for a trip. And then it would be on when we were getting ready to park. We just have to probably change the batteries more often. But frankly...
And they're standard batteries, which is something I like. I don't like proprietary or weird batteries.
I keep forgetting to turn it off when we get settled. So it's been on more than it should be anyway. And we haven't had to change the batteries yet. Right. So,
but let's be honest. It's always good when there's two of you and one of you is out looking for what you're not going to hit when you're backing up anyway. So you kind of have to have one person get out as it is and put wheel chocks and all that stuff. So this is a gadget that it's not a necessary one, right? Because you can use the level in your phone, or you could get a level or whatever, but I just really like it. So that's just me.
All right. What's Goofy USA?
We camped in the Southern California desert among about 100 big metal statues.
If you are watching this on video, you know that we make a separate video now. So head on over or stay on YouTube when you're done here and check out our Goofy USA segment on.
That's what we have for you on the start of year 7 of the StressLess Camping Podcast. And if you have questions about RVs or RV quality, or just want to show pictures of your campsite or whatever it happens to be, we do have our fun and friendly StressLess Campers Facebook group. And
we love when you post there. We love when you ask and answer each other's questions. Go check it out. As Tony said, fun and friendly. We keep it that way for sure. StressLess Campers Facebook group.
Of course, we also do a once a week newsletter, which is absolutely free, with links to the stories, videos, and podcasts that will help you get the most out of your stressless camping experience.
Just visit our website and sign up on any page at the bottom or the pop-up or within the middle of an article or wherever. We want to make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah.
But we will not be sharing that with anyone. We will not be giving those lists away. We just use it so that once a week we can send you an email, and that's it.
Yep. And you will find the show notes and details for this episode 315, on the podcast page at stresslesscamping.com. And we have a page for every episode, so that's kind of cool.
We also have a page with our favorite RV products and services where you can find the things that we talk about often and the things that we really enjoy using. And some of those things even have a discount. So check out the RV products and services page.
Of course, we are in all the social places, but you can start at stresslesscamping.com. And from there, jump off to all the places that we're all wasting time together.
If you're listening by audio, don't forget that you don't want to miss a future episode. So if you subscribe to the StressLess Camping Podcast, which is free on any podcast app, you'll be able to hear every episode without fail.
Doggies. And of course, for our friends on YouTube, don't forget to like and comment and share. It all really does help.
Of course, if you're listening, you can review. If you're watching, you can comment or like or share, all those things. And if you are on the website and you see something that you like, that you think that your friends, family, fellow campers, enemies, grocery store companions, anybody would like, just go ahead and copy that link and send it by email, or write it down on your arm and let someone take a picture of it, or share it on Facebook. However you want to share, we don't judge.
No, but we sure appreciate. Well, with that, here we go on season 7 of the StressLess Camping Podcast. We really appreciate your being with us for all these years. There have been a whole bunch of you who download the audio episodes especially, and a few of you are finding us on YouTube too, but wherever you find us, we appreciate you very, very much. And with that, we hope you get to do some
Stressless camping.